In our previous video, as part of our ASP.NET Core web application, that is grocery store application, we have seen how to create models. That is, we have created this model with domain classes, interfaces, and concrete class. We have also seen what is controller, what is the purpose of controller, and we also implemented controller as well here. Now, as part of MVC, what is left is the view part, because we have seen model as well as the controller. The next is the view, and view receives data from the controller. Here you can see that as part of this controller, there is an action method over here, that is list method, which will return a view, and this view will take data from this model, that is grocery repository. From this repository, it is going to take, and it is going to display data on our web page, right? So now let's see how we can see a strongly typed view in case of MVC. Previously, in previous video, we have seen how to create a regular view, that is a normal view, that is a plain view we have seen. Now we will see how to create a strongly typed view in MVC. Okay. So to do that, first we have to understand what is view bag. Okay. So if you remember that view will receive data to visualize, and it requires data for us to be passed on to it, right? As part of controller action method, we are executing the action method, and we are returning view, and we are passing data to the view. There are several ways to pass the data. One of the way is by using view bag. What is view bag? View bag is dynamic object that we can pass data to and from the controller. Okay. So let us see how we can add data through view bag in controller. Here you can see an example, right? Using view bag from controller, you can see there is a grocery controller. This extends the base controller, and here is the action method, that is index method, and this the return type of this index method is view result, right? Now here, as part of the view, here we are introducing view bag.message equals welcome to grocery store. This is the message we are passing, right? So what does this mean here? Here we are adding data to the message property, okay? And since view bag is dynamic, we can add as many properties as we want and give required name to them, okay? Now here you can see dynamic content using view bag, right? Here, what does this at the rate symbol represent? Here, at the rate symbol prefixed here is the razor syntax. Okay, this means to say that this line contains code which has to be evaluated. And view code gets access to the same view bag object as the controller and can read properties specified in controller code. This way, controller and view can exchange data, but this is not completely dynamic, this is not fully dynamic, as every time we have to cast like this, right? We can't do that. So instead of doing like this, we can make use of strongly typed view. We can make use of razor, that is razor is a markup syntax which allows us to include C# functionality in our web pages. Let's see how strongly typed view looks like. Okay, so here you can see a strongly typed dynamic view. Okay. Now, what we can see over here, we have to include the type of object that is going to be passed in. Okay. Here you can see at the rate model I enumerable of grocery. What does this mean? This means that we have to include the type of the object that is going to be passed in as part of this view. Okay. Here only the data is going to be received from the view, right? This is the model, that is I enumerable of grocery. We are passing over here as part of this view on top of it. Then what is the code over here? Here by using at the rate, that is the syntax, that is the razor syntax. The razor code we are writing over here to loop over all groceries, to loop over all the groceries in the model. And so that model was the list that we passed to the view in the controller code. We use for each over here. Okay, we are using for each over here, that is razor expressions to access each individual items in the list, that is name, price, whatever we are going to access here, we are making use of razor expressions over here, that is by using at the rate grocery.name, at the rate grocery.price. Okay, how we are doing this? By looping over each of the items in the list. Okay, It will loops over all the groceries in the model, all the groceries in the model, and that model was the list that we passed to the view in the controller code, right? If you observe in our controller, if you observe in our controller, you can see that list is the action method which will return, that is the return type is view result, and it will return a view, and this view will enter take data from grocery repositories dot all groceries. This is the model, right, which we are going to pass over here. This is the grocery repository. Okay, where is the grocery repository? If you observe over here, I grocery repository. Okay, here we are going to have this method over here, I enumerable of grocery, that is all groceries. So this is where we are going to get all the groceries from. And what is a concrete class for this interface? Concrete class for this interface is mock grocery. See, I will just show you what is the concrete class for this. Inside this model, you can see mock grocery repository. This is the concrete class. And here inside this concrete class, we have the list of all the groceries. See, all the groceries is a method which has been implemented over here by implementing this iGrocery repository interface. And here we are providing data for each of our groceries with their unique IDs, and these IDs and these groceries we are accessing inside our view, right? Because we are passing as part of this return view, we are passing this grocery repository dot all groceries. Here we are going to get all the groceries. How we can get inside the view? Inside the view we can include by using razor syntax. That's what we are using here. We are using razor code to loop over all the groceries in the model, right? And we are, what we are doing, we are making use of this for each loop and using razor expressions to access each individual items in the list. These are the properties which you can see, name, price, right, as part of this grocery. Here we have included as part of, here you can see that inside mock grocery repository, here you can see these properties as part of the model we can access over here. Now if you want to see the domain class, what are the properties as part of this grocery, you can see over here grocery.cs, which we had implemented previously. All these properties we can loop over each of these properties, and by using razor expressions we can access the each of these items as part of the list. That is how we are going to represent a strongly typed dynamic view, right? This is how we are going to pass in the model. Initially what we are going to do, we have to include the type of the object that is going to be passed in as part of this view. This is what we are passing at the red model at the top, I enumerable of grocery. Now by making use of this model, we are going to iterate through each of the groceries, and we are going to access using razor expressions by using at the rate grocery dot name at the rate grocery dot price, like this. That's it. This is how we are going to represent view in our MVC. That is ASP.NET Core MVC. Now, in our next video, we will see how to implement this strongly typed dynamic view as part of our web application. We had created this web application previously, which contains the models, that is domain classes, interfaces, and corresponding concrete classes. And we also implemented controller associated for this model, right? That is grocery controller. Now as part of this views folder, we have to add views so that this controller, that is grocery controller.cs, will return this view, and that view in turn takes data from this grocery repository and displays on our web page. That's it. That will be one loop which we have completed, initially creating models, then controller, then corresponding view for it, right? Let's see how we can implement view in our next video. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Please like, comment, and share this video, and kindly subscribe to my channel in order to watch more videos. Click on that bell icon so that you'll start receiving notifications whenever I'm uploading a new video.